Hi guys, what's up? If you like the content we push out, remember, please you can subscribe, like, and share. Thank you guys so much, and we love you. So right into the video. Today we're talking about communication
Do's
and
and don'ts.
So communication has laws to do about communication. I'm going to put it in two different categories. First, communication do's and don'ts for listening to understand, and yes, that's basically
Yes, basically. So we're saying we're going to be sharing do's and don'ts, things that you can do that will help you listen better and communicate better in your relationship. And also it will help you realize if there are things that you are doing that are wrong that are probably making the communication in your relationship worse.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, so
we'll get down to it. So first we want to read Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5.
Yes,
Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5.
Communication is such an amazing and important tool to have when you're in a relationship and also in a marriage, because a lot of things can go wrong if wrong communication is. If you can't express it well, if you don't listen well, because sometimes listening is very difficult. You just yourself is trying to rise to the surface and say, "Oh, listen to reply, listen to have a
Yes. Also, your mind is trying to wander away and think of other things when you're supposed to be listening. So, listening is something that requires a lot of intentionality. All right, so I'm going to read Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5. It says, "Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance." So basically, listening makes you wiser. So
and gives you guidance.
Yes, it's
very, in your relationship, listening to your partner gives you guidance on how to relate with your partner, how to relate better, to create that kind of symbiotic relationship where both of you are just in sync. Do you understand? People can tell because you've listened. When the opportunity has presented itself to fight or do other things or get angry, you actually listen to understand and you get better in your relationship. And people can tell.
All right. So we have 7 points.
Yes, 7 points.
Yeah, basically do's
and don'ts. 7. This is not 7, no, babe. This is 7.
What did I do? 7.
He said 7.
Oh my god, 7 guys. Okay. So number 1, focus on what is being said rather than how you feel about what is being said. So the do, focus about what is being said. Don't focus on how you feel about what is being said, because if you focus on how you feel about what is being said, it will cloud your judgment and it will not help you understand properly what the person is trying to say, because
you're actually being selfish.
Because your view is subjective.
Yeah, and you're being selfish in that moment.
Yes, because you're thinking about yourself
rather than listening to what the person is saying to understand them. Right. So the first one is like what she said: focus on what is being said rather than how you feel about what is being said. Second one is focus on the way it is being said rather than the words only. So like when people talk, right? Like now I'm talking to you. This entire video we're going to be talking, and we're trying to communicate one single thing to you, one important thing to you. So we're using words to communicate how we feel about the subject. So you cannot just take us out of context. Use one of the words we said and say, okay, this is what they said, and I'm going to take it away and go. No, you have to listen to everything we're saying so that you can understand what we're trying to communicate to you. And that's the bedrock of communication. Listening. You have to listen. Like, listening is so important, and you have to remove yourself from it. So if some words are said and you just take it out, okay, this is what is happening. But there's a time that I think I went to buy something and you're supposed to send me money to pay for what I went to go and buy from one of our accounts and stuff. And I went there, I queued up, it was time for me to pay, and then she hadn't sent it. And I called her and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And in that moment, there was a temptation to just not listen to anything she was saying and just be angry and everything. But when I was listening to what she was saying, she was describing how her day had gone, how busy she had been, that she's so sorry and everything. And me listening to her gave me the opportunity to empathize, sorry, English, empathize with her and understand her rather than getting angry and just not listening. So listening is very important. Don't just listen to the words or everything. Listen, focus on
everything
on the way it is being said.
Rather than just picking on particular words and just take that word and then take it out of context and then you just pick it as to use for your arguments and then the argument keeps going back and forth. Just listen to understand the person rather than picking words for an argument. Okay. Thank you, babe. More carry I go.
Sharp, please.
Hey.
The other things that.
Yes, other very important marriage things, which we shall not mention in this video because we are talking about communication. All right. So focus on clarification of valid points rather than the defense of incorrect accusation. So focus on clarification of valid points. For example, is that what? Oh, sorry, can you say what you just said? Can you say it again? Or is this what you mean by what you said? Are you trying to tell me that? Are you trying to tell me this? And I say, no, that's not what I meant when I said that. So
you're actually clarifying.
Yes. So by asking clarifying questions, it helps you not to go by clarification of valid points. It helps you not to go based on your assumptions.
Yes.
It helps you understand the person properly, listen properly to understand them rather than just going
and rather than actually making wrong accusations.
Yes.
Like you can just accuse people wrongly because what you've heard, you've taken what you've heard and that's what you've heard. You didn't listen, you didn't ask questions to further clarify because sometimes when people are trying to communicate, they might do a poor job at it. So you as a listener, you have to help that person also at some point to explain, properly express themselves. And it takes a lot of selflessness, just thinking about this person you love, you claim to love. So you should actually have that patience and kindness for them to express themselves.
Yes. So if you focus on clarification of valid points, it will help you not to form wrong assumptions, which will now lead you to incorrect accusations. Because incorrect accusations are usually formed by wrong assumptions. So you just assume the person was saying this, and then you accuse them. Oh, whenever you're talking to me, you always say this. You always act like I'm the bad person. You always, and those are just assumptions and accusations, and that is not the goal of communication.
Yes. So the next one is focus on questions rather than indictments. So it might be easy for you to be like, you've said this and this is what you mean. This is how you've said it.
This is what you're always saying.
This is what you're always saying. This is what I'll go, that's indictment. But you can just ask questions. Just be like, okay, so when I do this, this is how it makes you feel. This is how it made you feel at this point. Ask questions to understand. So remember that the goal of communication is that when a conflict happens, you're meant to try and communicate so both of you are on the same side. It's no more Josh versus Okwe. Communication takes Okwe from the opposite side to where Josh is standing, or takes Josh from the opposite side to where Okwe is standing, so we can both face the problem together. So it's now Okwe and Josh versus the problem.
For example, now if I'm having a conversation with Josh and then I say something like, you never empty the bin, so I feel like I'm always emptying the bin by myself all the time. I feel like you're not helping me enough. And then Joshua can just take it as an accusation and say, you say I never help you empty the bin, but I actually empty the bin sometimes. Or he could ask a clarifying question and say, you said I never empty the bin, but I actually empty it sometimes. I don't just empty it all the time. So do you mean that you would like me to help you empty the bin more often? Or do you mean that you would like it if I emptied the bin more? Something like that. Rather than, so asking that clarifying question, I'll not say, oh, it's true. You actually help me empty the bin sometimes. I didn't mean you don't do it at all. I just mean I would need you to help me empty it more. So you can see that because of the way he listened and the question he asked, it has helped us to grow in understanding. If you just went based on his assumption, he would have given an accusation which would just further
because even the way in that example, even the way you said things, it's easy for me to just get annoyed and just go correct. But the question I asked doubts the situation in that scenario. So it's very important for that to happen.
So always ask
questions rather than indictments.
Yes. All right. Focus on understanding rather than judgment. Very important. Focus on understanding. Remember, you are listening. The goal of communication is for both of you to grow in understanding. So you are listening to understand this person, understand their feelings, understand their thought process. So focus on actually trying to understand them rather than judging them. So when they are expressing their feelings, you don't begin to say things like, why would you feel that way? Oh, so I said, why would you feel that way? I love you. So why will you feel unloved?
That's the dumb thing to do. That's a very stupid thing to do. You shouldn't have felt that's judge. You're just judging people left,
like
right, and
you have no right to tell somebody they should not feel that way.
Exactly. Even if their feelings were based on wrong information. They felt it. Do you understand? They actually felt it.
And their feelings are valid. The fact that you felt that is valid. You felt that even though you shouldn't have felt that way because you misinterpreted my actions, that's why I felt that way. But you still felt that way, and I apologize because I made you feel that way. And you listening to understand helps you not to act that way again, so that you don't make them feel that way again.
So you focus on understanding rather than judgment. The next one is ask clarifying questions. We've touched on this before, but just to reiterate, you ask questions when the person has finished talking. So you be like, okay, so you think about what the person said and how you understand it, and then you talk about it. So is this what you meant? There's a time we had a counseling session, and the two people spoke about how they had the argument. They spoke, and then they are hurt and everything. After they finished speaking, two of them, when I said, okay, I see before they started, they said, okay, you will listen. When the person finishes, you tell what the person said. After they finish listening, they say, okay, say it. And the person said, like, the other person was like, no, that's not what I said. Okay, say what the person said. The person said, no, that's not what I said. So they were not actually listening at all. Do you understand? So instead of doing that, you ask clarifying questions to further understand what the person is saying. Do you understand? Ask clarifying questions like, okay, so by all this you said, is this what you mean? Do you understand? Or in that instance, is this what you meant when you said this? Do you understand? So you ask clarifying questions as somebody who has the aim of understanding.
Yes.
Do you understand?
All right. So also you ask summary questions.
Yeah.
When the person has said everything, so see, this is what I understand based on all you have said, that this is what I did and it made you feel this way, and this is what you would like me to change. So summary questions can also be like, from all you have said, what would you like me to work on?
Yes.
What do you think I should change?
Yeah.
What can I do to prevent this from happening again?
Yeah.
Which of my actions can I change that will prevent you from feeling this way? So from asking summary questions, it helps you know that you have properly understood what this person was expressing.
And it helps the person know that the person has been understood.
Yes, also. It helps them know that you are also listening. Also helps the person see if they have not communicated certain things properly. That is an option. That is a chance, an avenue for them to also clarify and express what they want you to do properly. In case in the process of saying what they wanted to say, they did not actually express what they wanted you to do better.
Yeah.
Now, in this part, they can tell you, okay, this is what you can do better, so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. And it gives them the opportunity to grow in their communication also.
So
over time, they understand how to communicate better. All these things are they are tools to help you communicate better. And the lifeblood of every relationship is communication. Do you understand? Understanding each other, growing to the place where you both understand each other better, so that when conflict arises, you pause, right, and choose to understand rather than fight. Do you understand? You don't have to fight. You don't have to fight. You don't listen to the lies. Like we've been married for 3 years plus and going to 3 years.
Joshua, do you know what? Joshua, I don't know.
No,
our marriage has been so sweet
for so long.
Well, because what is so sweet?
It's so sweet.
I don't even understand. Whatever you're saying. Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, yes, it's going to 3 years, and we haven't fought. We've had opportunities to fight. But we always look at misunderstanding. But we always look at the point that we can actually understand each other better, and we choose not to fight. So you can do that also, and that's God's desire for all of us, because there is no fighting in the fruit of the Spirit. There is no selfishness in the fruit of the Spirit.
There's self-control, there's joy, there's love, there's peace.
Everything. So in that moment, always choose to try and understand each other. But with these tools we have given you guys, we believe you'll be able to listen more and have better conversations, better conflicts, like look at the positive side of conflicts, and also always come out closer together.
See conflict as an opportunity to grow in your understanding of each other.
Yes.
And if you communicate through each conflict properly, you would actually grow in your understanding of each other, and you won't have to fight over an issue twice, because both of you have grown in understanding and you know what you did that hurts the other person, so you won't do it anymore because you don't want to hurt each other. So
these are actually pretty good life skills also, not only in a relationship, like just in life generally. It's good to always listen so you can get the full picture, so you're not just reacting based on what you think you heard. Because if you if you take a look at people's first perspective of themselves, you'll be shocked. Everybody has a different perspective, and you just have to understand. It's talking about it that makes other people understand you better and understand them better.
So we hope this relationship do's and don'ts will help you do better in your relationship. We love you guys so much.
Remember to subscribe, share, comment. Like, we love reading your comments so much. And also so much.
Love you guys. Bye.